Okay, welcome back to part two of this Benzo Diary 4. As I was saying before, I ran out of video space. I've got a number of ideas and thoughts about how this situation can be made a lot better for people that are in our situation. And I was touching upon a number of points that I'd written down just to help me. I was talking about first of all, the professionals have to recognise when they've made mistakes, and they have to be accountable in the same way that people are accountable when they botch operations or when they give inappropriate treatment for people with physical illnesses, and that has to be implemented straight away. There are no excuses for poor practice, particularly with the amount of knowledge and studies. One of the things that I've discovered is there are no end of studies coming out of the US about these things. And that's partly because the doctor-patient relationship obviously is very, very different. But in the UK, the last significant study about the effects of these drugs was the Heather Ashton thing, which I think was at the beginning of the millennium. So people obviously are not trying hard enough to find out why this is going on and why there are 10 million prescriptions written in this country for sedative benzodiazepine drugs. 10 million. Just think about that for a minute. Okay. We have to have patient-led treatment. And again, I'll call them out, and they want to see me in court, that's fine. But Dr. Viola, Dr. Hodgson, Dr. Rees, I never had patient-led discussion. I never even had discussion about what possible side effects might afflict me if I went down the route that I was pressured into going down. No discussion of that at all. Just nothing. And I find that unforgivable. And I hope enough people can join together and we can take some action and get some of our life back, because it's cost me so much. And I've mentioned that in the previous diary, so I won't go on about it again. But there has to be a recognition and continuous, regular monitoring in order to protect the patient. It absolutely has to happen. And it's not at the moment. And I know that from people that I know and people who've been in touch with me. The effects of these drugs are very long acting, even after people have come off them. I had somebody contact me after my last diary, and I want to thank everyone who's gone onto YouTube and had a look. I really do appreciate you looking and the comments that you've made in support of what I'm trying to do. I really appreciate it, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And my heart goes out to anyone who's suffering in the way that I've suffered and continue to suffer. But a chap said to me on YouTube that he's been off them a year and he's still suffering. So these things, unlike opiates, unlike other drugs, even unlike alcohol, they continue to afflict people even after they are officially off them. So there has to be aftercare built into this. Now, I think that there is a case for the Health Select Committee to meet specifically about this in the House of Commons. And I will be writing to my MP. She's been ill, unfortunately, and not been able to perform her duties, but as soon as she is, I will attempt to try and meet with her and try and push this issue as a matter of urgency. I think anyone who has the remotest interest in public health, that this should be discussed, and not just the experts, the so-called experts. I want to see the drug companies before the Select Committee getting grilled. I want to see the Royal College of Psychiatrists being grilled. I want to see the BMA being grilled. And I want patients and users and victims to give their testimony so that Parliament can pass some decent laws to protect the public, which is ultimately the duty of any government, is to protect their citizens. And they've not done that in this particular issue. How about a breaking of the wall of silence from all you so-called mental health organisations? You're all very well talking about parity of esteem and breaking down stigma, and we all support that. But Rethink, Mind, I'm talking to you. You've got nothing to say on this subject. And I have approached, certainly Rethink, I've approached you guys to ask you, and you've declined to make any comment. You provide fact sheets, basic fact sheets that you get at any hospital or look online. You do not recognise that there is a problem. And that may be because of your close ties to the NHS and the funding you get. About time you decided to come off the fence and actually say, whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the patients, or are you on the side of the vested interests who are selling this shit to the NHS? So come on, let's be having you. Particularly Rethink. I'm massively disappointed with you because I've supported you in talking about my mother's illness and schizophrenia. Absolutely appalled at your indifference. So where are the champions then? Individuals can't do this by themselves. We need friendly solicitors. We need an organisation, a national organisation that will speak up. Not lone voices like me, mouthing off about what the problem is and what the solution is. We need people to come out and actually tell it like it is and be organised and actually deal with the problem. In the same way that the good work that Rethink and Mind does in other areas of mental health, we need an organisation that says this is just not right and it's got to be changed, and we'll campaign until something is done. So the door is open, the challenge is there. Mind, Rethink and the rest, let's see what you got. Come out and say something. Come out and say something about it, instead of this wall of silence that we get. I'd expect it from drug companies. I'd expect it from certain consultants. I don't expect it from campaigning groups. And it's extremely disappointing that you have so little to say about such an important subject. There has to be, given the not increasing knowledge of the effects of these drugs, there has to be more research into the long-term effects of taking them. I mean, I have discovered, and it does worry me for my future, that I may be more susceptible to Alzheimer's or shrinkage of the brain or other effects, cognitive effects, long-lasting illness that is as a result of a long-term taking of benzodiazepines. Bad enough depending on taking them, but to have your health ruined in the future at such a time when hopefully I might be able to get off them, that would literally add injury to insult, to turn a phrase on its head. There has to be research on this, and there has to be UK research, because I think the UK authorities are very sniffy about American research. They dismiss it as somebody from the University of California just pontificating about this, that and the other, and it's not true. It's because of the nature of the doctor-patient relationship there that people can challenge. It's the only advantage of the American health system, that you can challenge your physician and you can actually get redress when they make mistakes and when they are negligent. And we are talking about negligence on an industrial scale, causing incalculable suffering to real people in real situations, damaging real lives. This has to stop. I think that's about everything covered. If I've missed anything out, then please do comment on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube page, and get in touch, make contact, let me know your stories, and find me on Facebook, Neil Evans. There's a lot of us about, but you should be able to find me. I'm the one wearing the Swindon shirt, and I'll be glad to link up with you. Anyway, I wish you all good health, and those who are suffering, I wish that your suffering is as minimal as possible. Take care, and I'll speak to you at some point in the future.